Welcome back to Weather Nation as we continue our coverage into this afternoon and this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Mary Matthews and myself here and following the weather across the country from the Gulf Coast all the way up into the Midwest and talking about a forecast that includes another coastal storm as we move into the midweek time slot. We're talking about from Austin, Texas, back over to Bryan, Houston, where we have some of the thunderstorms down to the south. And this was an area that we thought we'd have some occasional thunderstorms for the day today, but we've had a few warnings, a few of these of which have been tornado warnings. At the moment, we have a Fayette County, Texas severe thunderstorm warning about to cross over I-10 from the north to the south. Other thunderstorms up in Louisiana, where we've had some of the veering, some of the winds that were creating these thunderstorms that were rotating, and a couple of tornado warnings up in the northern half of the state. Then, as you go further to the north along the Mississippi River, crossing over the Mississippi River into western sections of Mississippi, from Clarksdale down to Greenville, Cleveland area, that's a severe thunderstorm warning that we're watching there as well. Cross over the river. Other thunderstorms to the north up into the mid-south, and then as you go back to the north into the upper Midwest, wow, big powerful low pressure center that's producing some really high snow rates into this area up and around Minneapolis, south through down to Rochester, Winona, and into the southern sections of Wisconsin and northern Indiana and Illinois as we go through the rest of this afternoon. Mary, it's a pretty volatile situation there. That's a low too that's going to be around for a while.
It's going to be around for a while, David, and we're starting to see the lower visibilities across St. Paul, Minnesota. It's coming down 2 to 3 inches an hour in some locations. So let me kind of show you what we're talking about. We've got thunder snow out there. If you're familiar with the upper Midwest and thunder snow, it gives us those higher snowfall rates. A lot of instability in the atmosphere. So you can kind of see some of those lightning strikes out there. Minneapolis south into Lakeville. So very heavy banding of snow towards the Twin Cities. And that extends all the way back into Dubuque, Iowa, into parts of La Crosse, Wisconsin. A very heavy band of snow going through right now. And this will continue to really stack up with a lot of the snow. Winds, we're gusting 15, 20, 25 miles per hour. So it is chilly out there, but the winds are the strongest towards parts of South Dakota. Let me show you towards Chicago. So we've had a brief little period of a few flurries north of Chicago. It's all rain right now, but we'll see more of that snow pushing across northern Illinois. Already seeing that freezing line dropping south of Rockford, Illinois now, and that will continue to move into Chicago as we travel through the evening hours. About 9, 10 o'clock, we'll see that secondary changeover to a little bit of snow. About 4 to 6 inches expected north of Chicago. It will be mainly light to moderate accumulations across parts of Michigan into Green Bay, Wisconsin. We could see close to 4 to 5 inches. The heaviest of snow will be taking place across Minneapolis, parts of western Wisconsin. That area of low pressure will continue to pull right across the Great Lakes as we move through Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday. And then where it's headed next, that's going to be the big story. Let's take you to the northeast and show you New York City and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We've got some gorgeous conditions out there today, and we have to remember we just wrapped up with a storm system across the northeast, and it was a powerful nor'easter that knocked out power for thousands, and there are still several 100,000 without power, believe it or not, across sections of New England and into parts even of New Jersey. So we have winter storm watches that are now in effect for parts of the northeast, and that will stay in effect through Thursday morning. Of course, this will likely be upgraded to a winter storm warning, winter weather advisories as we travel through time. Let's kind of look at some of the forecast models here and kind of show you what we are talking about, because the big kicker with this storm system is not going to be the area of low pressure that you're looking at there across the Great Lakes. It's going to be a secondary area of low pressure that develops right across the Carolinas as we move through Wednesday morning. And depending on how quickly this develops, how quickly it matures, intensifies, will depend on how much snow we see and how far south on I-95. So you'll kind of notice this is our in-house forecast model, and this depicts the possibility of a changeover to snow for Washington, D.C. Now, if it moves very fast, we won't get much for the D.C. area, maybe 2 to 4 inches at best. I think the heavier snow will certainly, there's a confidence in the forecast pretty high for Philadelphia to see that heavy snow beginning 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday, and then a very big burst of snow here through New York City and Long Island on the northern periphery of this area of low pressure by Wednesday afternoon. So that would affect your afternoon commute, and it's going to be a sharp delineation line between how much snow we see for the interior sections of New England. We could really stack up pretty quick across places like Springfield, Massachusetts, Boston. I think the confidence is still a little bit low right now in terms of actual snowfall. But we have to remember nor'easters are not so much about snowfall as much as they're about the wind profile, and that will be the big kicker. We'll have our crews on the ground. They're headed there now. Meteorologist Nick Marianos and our very own Weather Nation's Brandon Clement will be bringing us live reports beginning tomorrow. We'll be right back.